Hey guys, it's BlockchainBrad, and today I'm very honoured to speak with none other than Freya Ruan. Freya is the Global Communications Director of a very exciting blockchain project called Bit.Game. Thank you very much for your time tonight, Freya.
Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you. It is my pleasure to talk with you in Skype, and I'm really happy to talk with you.
Likewise.
And hello everyone. I'm Freya from Bit.Game.
Thank you, Freya, for acknowledging the community, because they are the most important people, I suppose, in every blockchain startup. We are excited to hear about you, though, and thank you for your time once again. So, Freya, obviously you are leading the way in terms of the global direction of this company, so that's a pretty important role. Can you tell us a bit about your background with regard to why you are well experienced for this role?
Yeah, sure. So right now I'm the Global Community Director in Bit.Game. I took charge of the community construction, about the promotion and public relations, and also overseas marketing as well. So I help with the team to attract more players, more users to our project, and this is what I do. I come to this blockchain industry not in a quite long time. Before that, I was the global development manager in Cheetah Mobile. Maybe you have heard it.
Maybe.
It's a very famous application company and also advertising company. And when I was in Cheetah, I witnessed a lot of game publishers and developers who spend a lot of money to promote their applications, to promote their games, to get more traffic. And what they earn is not that much. They spend a lot of them on the advertising part. So that's why I began to think, so what's the future of the game industry? Should I keep investing more and more money on advertising, or there's another break point for them? So that's why I heard about the blockchain, and I heard about the Bit.Game project. It's very interesting, and I would like to join immediately. So that's why I was here.
I see.
I'm here.
So you genuinely had a passion and interest in blockchain and also in the gaming industry, and what both the synergy could afford in terms of what is potentiated through this connection. So let's explore that in terms of Bit.Game itself. Can you tell us a little bit about the problems, perhaps, that you foresaw, given that you know the marketplace so well and you're well experienced in this, I guess, this scene of understanding gaming? Why is blockchain something that is so able to redress this problem, and what is this problem?
Okay, so in my opinion, there must be a break point appearing out for traditional game industry. This is the present situation and tendency. I know you guys must ask why, because if you pay attention on the financial report for Q4 of all those super game companies in China, such as Tencent and NetEase, you'll certainly find that their game revenue is decreasing comparing with the data last season or even last year. So I think this sign of decreasing is not simply lying on only Tencent or NetEase. Actually, this is a symbol showing the common problem facing by the whole game industry, that there is a desperate need and a demand for game industry to innovate, to evolve, to revolutionize, and to inject more new blood into this whole industry. And this is why Bit.Game builds our whole project.
I see. Well, you're talking about some big names there, Freya. You're talking about Tencent, one of the largest companies, if not the largest, in its industry in the world. And clearly you're suggesting that there is a reduction in this revenue. So no doubt Bit.Game wants to take some of that stake, into in the decentralized sense. So you must be excited that you are one of the first movers to do this in China.
Yeah, actually, we are the first digital asset exchange for blockchain games all around the world. I mean, no one is doing the same things, the same project with us. So yeah, I think we certainly have the advantage to build all this project.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're the first in the world of anything, that must be pretty exciting to be part of. But let's talk about Bit.Game itself as well, Freya. For those perhaps who've never heard of it, and I imagine there are many in the world, can you tell us in a more simplistic sense what it is and why it's important?
Yeah, okay, sure. So as we have listed out information in our white paper as well, basically our whole project contains 4 parts. So one is Bit.Game exchange. Bit.Game exchange is the world's first digital asset exchange for blockchain games, and it will not only grow together with other members, but also share benefits through our POC mining pool and double repurchase program with global game players as well as exchange users. So this is the exchange, and the other one is Bit.Game solution. It provides an original and complete set of development keys as API or SDK for traditional game publishers based upon your Ethereum, HN, Trustnode, game chain system, and Matrix AI network, etc.
I see.
And also we provide Bit.Game platform. It's based on DACOs, as you might have heard of it, and it offers technical support, incubation funds, and asset trading for all the innovative, high-potential blockchain game projects. And the last is IDEX, AIDEX. It's a decentralized exchange based on AI technology, artificial intelligence, and jointly with the famous company Matrix AI Network, because they're so experienced in the development of AI technology. So it will continue to optimize the user experience on the basis of transparency, such as high transaction rate, lower transaction cost, sufficient transaction depth, and flexibility, etc.
I see.
Yeah, so this is what we do.
And Freya, thank you for being so prepared. Obviously, you've made some important notes, which we appreciate, given that your context being in China. Now, if we could just recap those. You mentioned that there's a mining element. You mentioned there's a platform. You mentioned the IDEX and Matrix.
Right.
That connection with Matrix can't be understated, because clearly Matrix is doing extremely well in the AI space in China right now, and the team is exceptional. So, what's your sentiment with regard to having that direct connection with Matrix? How do you feel about having that?
Actually, Matrix is our, the main strategy partner, is our VP strategy partner. We have several strategy partners who are public blockchain companies and who has supported us with their great help and their super support. And we actually cooperated with Matrix in several aspects. First is the integrated wallet, which we'll develop with them together, and also the IDEX, as I mentioned earlier, and also a decentralized data and content improvement. This is also something that we will do together with Matrix.
I see.
And also we have their CEO, Owen Tao, and their Professor Steve Deng and Bill Lee. They're also our advisors. So you can see, we really got solid backup from the Matrix AI network, and I really appreciate their support.
And they clearly believe in you, because they could no doubt pick any company they wanted to support. So they would have been quite selective, I imagine, because I know Owen personally, and I can tell you that he is such an academic. He would have covered this very thoroughly in his assessment, I would imagine, and done his due diligence, and he has chosen you. So well done to achieve such high-ranking advisors. We will obviously explore this further, though. With regard to your tech as well, if you could tell us a bit more about your fundamentals. What is your core technology really about, and what sets you apart?
Okay, I think because I'm the global community director, I may not know much about the technical things. So maybe for the video too, I can ask my technical leader to take this video. But for me, I would like to explain a little bit on why we are better than anyone else. So this is also a question that we've also given a lot of thought on that. But before any kind of explanation, I'd like to take an example of earlier games. So just look back to the whole game industry. Nowadays, we're quite familiar with Apple Store games and Google Play games. We download them in our mobile phones and play them. But before free games showing up, it was games that pay to play. The players must spend some money first to buy the games before they could play them. So free-to-play games once has cut down the barrier for the whole game industry to attract more players come and play. And now people just get used to play other free games they quite know a lot about playing the pain points in the games, and they know that once they spend money on games, the money is kind of like a loss, because if they stop playing, the money is just gone for good.
I see.
So for blockchain games, is play to earn actually. It helps lower the barrier even much more for game players, as they could earn by playing games. So if you know that you could earn some money when you're playing it, why not? So as long as there are game players all around the world, there is the certain value of our tokens in exchange. So our Bit.Game API could offer risk control and asset issuing support for all the game projects. We are in a much more close relationship with other blockchain games, because we're the only and the world's first digital asset exchange for blockchain games. We are strongly and closely linked with the game projects rather than any other exchanges. This is.
And what's exciting is that, I want to stress as much as possible that you are this digital asset exchange. You're not just simply a company trying to house and support games themselves. And one of the things I want to reinforce that I think is really valuable that you mentioned was that you're moving away from this free-to-play model to more using your APIs to something that's play-to-earn, something that I haven't actually heard of before. And that model is pretty clever because that suits blockchain perfectly, because you're incentivizing people to enter into the decentralized gaming industry, which hasn't been possible before blockchain.
Right, certainly, because we've also taken 30% of our total tokens into the POC mining pool. So when people play other blockchain games released on our Bit.Game platform, they could also mine the tokens when playing the games. So more tokens will be earned by them. So this is why players would like to play our games.
And once again, that also explains, Freya, why you would opt for the technology of blockchain, because you could have chosen any blockchain, you could have chosen any technology. And really, blockchain is just one option, and you've used this to your benefit to really reach out to as many people around the world as possible, and in a sense, reinvigorate the blockchain, the gaming industry. So, Freya, if we could now talk about blockchain a little bit further with regard to your position. My understanding is that you are agnostic by design, in that you could essentially be functional on any number of blockchains, but you're starting with Matrix.
Yeah, we start with Matrix as well as some other famous public blockchain companies. Besides Matrix, we also got Elastos. It's another very famous name, as you might already heard of it.
Yes, I definitely have.
Yeah. And Mr. Rong Chen and Feng Han are also our advisors. We got their support as well. So see, they all trust us. They all have faith in our project, and that's why we have the faith to build it in a perfect way. And also, we will cooperate with Elastos in several aspects. Certainly, they have their reputation already, and we'll cooperate with in-depth strategic cooperation, such as Java EVM technology, or we also will transplant games into Elastos platform. And including, we also do some co-branding promotion with them. So you can also find our COO Kevin, who has given a speech during their Elastos meetup. We've been invited by them, and our COO has given the speech.
Wow. So Freya, obviously that's a really exciting and big deal, because Ron Chen is not only the lead architect for Elastos, but he spent 17 to 18 years building this technology. He has worked for 10 years alongside Bill Gates for Microsoft. There are very few, if not, I would say one of maybe 3 or 4 in the world that are doing what he's doing. And you partnered with this company. And not only that, Elastos have already done other things like brought in Zapier, which they're very much focused on video technology. They want to build out those assets. So they've regarded you, no doubt, as another asset to build out their plan. It must be exciting to have these kind of high-level advisors. You don't have advisors that people don't know. You have ones that are well-known.
Right, and also, as you may know, that we also got the solid backup from New.Game. Is the blockchain game portal of New ecosystem. So yeah, the New, as you know, we would build the game ecosystem with them all together.
I see. So even more I mean, Neo is one of the most reputable.
Even more, because yeah, we have plenty of public blockchain partners, such as besides all those three, we also got A-Chain Trustnode and Cellink and the Game Chain System, as well as other companies. So that's why we had a phase to do this project.
And A-Chain also, once again, is another reputable platform, and has already has quite a number of businesses appending to their platform as well. So they are well positioned in China, perhaps not so well known outside of China yet, but that will no doubt follow. But what is really clear is that they must see the value in the gaming platform that you are, and more importantly, the exchange capacity right now, because there's only a certain number of businesses that really suit the blockchain currently, and they must be regarding you seriously to do that. So let's explore perhaps the team itself a little bit more in terms of your core team members. We've discussed some of those lead advisors, but why is your team, or is your team so good, and can you tell us more about them?
Sure. First is our CEO, is Eric Sun. He is a game developer. He's a very experienced game developer who has developed several popular games, and he's also a former CEO of Pomjoy. He has worked at Perfect World and the French Telecom. He's expert in blockchain, and he's also a consultant of Bitcoin IIFO. And also our COO is Kevin Wong. He's the former CEO of Bit.Chess AI, and he's very experienced game publisher. He's an expert in game operation and asset trading. And also we got Mr. Kines. He's former manager of Huobi, you've also heard the name.
Yes.
And he has worked as VP for 3 years in BSB Bank. He has very rich experience in risk control and auditing. He's the one who works for our exchange safety. And also we got Mr. Shen. He's also our co-founder. He's a very successful entrepreneur. He has 15 years of senior management experience in communication and media companies. So this is our co-founders all together, and that's why we believe our project is going to be a success, because they are experienced in both in game industry and as well as in blockchain industry.
I see. So and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to allude to that, in that you need to have obviously a skill set built into the team that isn't just about the gaming. And one thing I did want to ask you as well is that, are you confident that you've covered the other aspect, and that is business and enterprise savvy? Do you think that your team have that skill set cut down pat to build out your plan?
Certainly, we got technical departments as well. Our tech leader is he's very smart, and also next time I think I'm gonna ask him to give this video to explain some more technology aspect of our project.
Sure.
Because he knows much more about our project than I do.
Sure, and clearly the technology is covered, but it was more about the business as well. You must be confident that this team collectively can lead out the business model, so that that's taken seriously in the context of what you essentially are, which is a business startup. If we could now talk about the marketplace itself. You are obviously an expert, I guess, in the gaming industry, having been in this role. Well, hopefully you know the marketplace. So can you tell us a bit more about the numbers in terms of just how big is this space you're entering, and in terms of revenue, in terms of economy, how profitable can it be?
I once saw a report saying that there are all around the world about 2.2 billion players globally, and according to the Newzoo statistics, the global revenue from direct games in 2017 has reached $110 billion, if including derivative revenue of games, it reaches $200 billion globally. So with this huge number, you may have an impression of how big the whole game market it is, I think.
Right, and so really we're looking at the tip of the iceberg potentially for having a slice of the pie, the revenue pie for sort of the decentralized marketplace of gaming, and particularly in the exchange context. But let's now talk about the really challenging issue of competition, Freya, because we can't deny that there are other companies, even in the blockchain domain, that are doing this kind of thing. So can we just really unpack this and get real? Are the competitors a concern to you? Who are the competitors, and why are you better than them?
Okay, so for me, I don't heard any name that they're doing the same things with us, because I don't think there's anyone who is doing the same project, because our project is very big and it's huge, and it's quite a grand plan already. So actually we are also an open platform. We would like to establish the cooperation partnership with all the companies, and our vision is to establish this blockchain game ecosystem and to make it better. So actually, even if we got competitors in the future or recently, it's not a bad thing for us, because the market is really big and it's big enough for anyone or for everyone who can do the blockchain game business in this market. So we welcome all of them, and we would like to cooperate with them. We would like to grow this business together with them and to build this ecosystem with them together to make it better.
Okay, so just to clarify with you so the audience understands, you're arguing that there's nothing really that is comparable to you right now in sense that of a digital assets exchange for gaming.
Right.
So are you also suggesting that those who are geared for gaming, I refer to one, for example, like Engine, they have a special focus on gaming itself, but they are distinct and not in direct sort of competition with you, is that right?
I think for other game companies, we could always cooperate with them. So we can provide our exchange. So if they are a blockchain game companies already, we could offer our Bit.Game exchange for them without any listing token fees. And if they are traditional game companies, we could certainly provide our Bit.Game solution for them. So you see, from any way that we can always cooperate with them.
Well, Freya, in that context, I want to just throw a bit of a curveball and ask you this. Given that there must be a multitude of centralized gaming companies in China, for example, and even some of these decentralized ones I'm mentioning, are you getting phone calls? Are you getting interest from these, these industries, or rather from these businesses and these essentially companies, to say, look, we'd like to onboard onto your platform, onto your digital assets exchange?
Yeah, actually, we welcome all the cooperation. We welcome all the partners. Once they have any intention or they have any ideas about their game project, they can always find out and talk with us. We welcome all the opportunities to make this better.
And is that happening? Yeah. Is that happening though? Are you getting phone calls?
It's definitely right now. Actually, we do have a number of game publishers that are cooperating with us right now for their blockchain games, such as Fishchain.io, also Poker.io, if I not remember it in the wrong way. So I think we will also release most information of all the blockchain games that developed by us in our Bit.Game platform as well. By this month, hopefully, we will release some information in our official website. So please keep an eye on our official website, and you will find all the game projects oncoming.
Well, that's exciting, because we will talk about more of your roadmap later. But now let's talk about the money side, Freya, because everyone does want to know about the tokenomics. So let's just get with the facts of this. In terms of your hard cap, your private sale, pre-sale, main sale, let's talk about where you're at. My understanding is you're currently in your main sale. So talk us through
Right. It starts from May 8th and it will end on June 8th, I think.
Okay, so you're in your main sale. You've already completed your private and your pre. Let's talk about the hard cap overall. How much money are you actually trying to raise?
Well, the hard cap is about 30,000 ETH, and the soft cap is about 5,000 ETH.
Okay, so that's that is what it is. That's your soft cap, and obviously you must be optimistic that you're going to achieve and successfully complete this main sale. The BGX is your token. Can you tell us a bit more about the distribution of it in terms of allocating it to your team, and how much is actually in the main sale as part of this whole distribution model?
Sure. For the distribution, we also offer the locking plan for all the team members, as well as all the other members, other supporters who have contributed for us. For team members, you could also find the detailed information in our white paper as well. We provide different locking plans based on different locking period for each team member. And also for all the investors who have invested for us before our ICO, their tokens will also be locking up for 6 months. And for normal members who have supported us, we provide 3 kinds of locking up plans. So the more details will be released on our official website later, but I could tell you earlier that all these 3 kind of locking up plans are very, we could also offer the bonus for all these locking plans.
Right.
So if they hold our BGS token without any, conducting any transactions, they will get at least 5% of the annual revenue. So, yeah. So we have 3 kinds of locking plans.
So what I'm interested in, what I like hearing about is that you have designed a lock-up system in that those who are part of the team can't simply just cash out upon release and exchange and then reap the benefits. We'd like to hear that the interests of the people who are those utilizing the service and actualizing the utility can ensure that it is a proper utility. So in that context, do you regard your token as a utility token?
Yes, I regard it as our token as utility token. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So obviously it has the purpose specifically geared for transactional value. Now, if we could explore a bit more of your roadmap, Freya, with regard to some of the key points for this year coming up, if you could tell us some of them.
Sure. Yeah. Also, you can also check out the details in our official website, but I can, pinpoint some, main roadmaps, main projects that be released in our roadmap that we will open source of our POC mining system by June, and we'll also release our solution, the first version of our Bit.Game solution by this month. So basically, these are 2 main projects for us that will be released soon.
I see. So that's really soon. If you're talking about the release within the end of this month.
Right. We'll release the solution, the first version of our solution by this month.
Okay. And that obviously sits well with your main sale. And I did forget to ask you those dates. How long does your main sale actually run for, Freya?
Our main sale will last for a month. It starts May 8th and it will end on June 8th.
I see. So that, again, we can expect some of these developments in the roadmap to happen during that main sale period. And also with regard to your vision, if you could tell us, sincerely, what do you see happening in the next year or so, or even 2, for your company of Bit.Game? And could you qualify that with some information as to why you think that?
So as we've already got solid backup and great support from plenty of famous public blockchain companies, we have pretty much faith on blockchain games. And because we believe that they're gonna surpass traditional web games and mobile games, it possesses numerous treasure, just like a storehouse. Just like the famous cartoon One Piece has mentioned that it's gonna be Japanese because I can speak a little. The line is that wakuwaku suru na tsugi wa donna bouken ga matte nda na to Luffy wa iimashita. Hishimi wa shinsekai o mezashi kyou mo grand line o tsuki susumu. It means that we're really looking forward to all the challenges that will be coming upwards, and we'll also get fully prepared for that. So let us sail along this grand line and go for it. So for this is the brand new future for blockchain game world.
I see. Well, it's interesting. I could understand what you were saying. So I would say in response back to that, subarashi desu ne. Yoku dekita. Right. Well done. You spoke Japanese very well. So tell us a bit more about your final statement in terms of, your community, the community itself, and why you're excited really about the future.
Right. We're really about the future as well, because we had a faith we could be successful for our project.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Freya, on behalf of all the people who wanted to know more about Bit.Game, you have provided that today. Thank you. We will hopefully remain friends, and I'll try and update the people about Bit.Game in the future with more updates and information. But for now, thank you for informing us about your digital asset exchange. that is that you're trying to bring all the games together on the blockchain. We wish you all the very best.
Thank
You've
you.
articulated that you have these connections with Elastus and with Matrix. They are by no means small players in the blockchain domain, and we look
Right.
forward to also seeing those connections unfold as well. So once again, we wish you all the very best as you finalize your main sale.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your great help for us as well. And thank you for supporting our project. You are a very kind person, and I really like to cooperate with you again.
No problem. You've heard it from Freya Ruan, the Community Director. Thank you once again. It's Bit.Game, watching out in the blockchain domain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.